that he wants to rehabilitate himself and become a productive member of society. That is possible. Whether or not that happens will be up to Mr. Stein.
So
it is the considered judgment and sentence of this court that Mr. Stein shall be sentenced to a term of life imprisonment.
Damn!
Florida Department of Corrections. With a 15-year review.
What's going on, man? It's your boy Grubs. You already know what it is, nigga. You fuck around, you find out, and we about to see. Stop playing. For real.
Yes.
This don't look good. I already don't got no faith in him. Being honest, he don't look like he built for prison. Just my personal opinion.
See if you could just say your name and spell your last name.
And just to let y'all know, we're gonna get some background on this case. You know what I'm saying? Just to know what's going on right now. Alright? Bam. Excuse me. Right here. I'm gonna read the description. Right. In a dramatic and highly emotional sentencing hearing, Thomas Stain took the stand to address the court. Stain apologized for his role in the tragic death of 15-year-old Kaylin Rankin Miller. Before hearing his final fate from the judge, Stain turned to his family in the gallery, broke down, and asked the court if he could hug them one last time. Prosecutors argued Stain took part in the attempted robbery that ended with the teen's fatal shooting as she walked with friends from a movie theater to a nearby McDonald's during spring break. What the fuck, bro? Damn! And dumbasses. Alright. So this apparently, looking at this case, alright, looking at everything, this isn't the only teen that got sentenced. So apparently another teen got sentenced. So we gonna react to these two, but today we're just gonna focus on this. Alright. God damn it, man. Dumb ass young boys. Alright, this is why y'all gotta think before y'all act. Alright, and this is why also, man, I don't know why robbing teenage girls by McDonald's? How much? See, dumbass shit. How much you think you gonna get out of that?
Thomas Stein, Stein.
You have a statement that you've prepared.
And now you in court crying.
I just want to use this opportunity to address my victims, Dejae, Emma, and to Kayla's family, and to anybody else who was impacted by this crime, and to offer an apology. On March 17th of 2024, my actions would assist and forever change the lives of many people.
Listen, bro, I don't care how genuine this shit may sound, or if he might really be sincere. When you kill somebody and you take somebody else away from their family, you know what I mean? Sorry can't fix that shit. Alright? And people who lost somebody, you know what I'm saying? If you have somebody you cared about get murdered before, you know what I'm saying? Or somebody in your family, you know what I'm saying, that was killed, or somebody you cared about that was killed, you can understand. Sorry does not fix that shit, bro. Alright? That's why we're here. And that's why you're here in court. You know what I'm saying? And they about to send you to prison because it's like, yeah, nigga, we know you're sorry, but at the end of the day, she's dead. This shit went wrong, and there's nothing you can do to fix it.
That night I was implicated into the murder of Kayla Rincon Miller. And as I reflect on that night, I try to understand the damages and pains that were inflicted. But the truth is, I don't think I could approximate the damage that was done or understand the totality of what everybody went through. And I want you to know that I didn't know that robbery was going to occur, but it was my reaction in fleeing that ultimately played a major role in assisting the perpetrators. I know that it wasn't my intentions, but the truth is, it doesn't change the result. It doesn't change the fact that there was a life taken and innocent people were forever traumatized because of that. That day I made a terrible decision. The decision to get behind the wheel was a total act of selfishness, And it's something I regret and I'm ashamed of every day. I regret the fact that I will impact innocent people who never deserved to go through what they did. I regret the burden I placed on my family, who have always been there supporting me. I know me saying an apology will never fix or undo what happened.
Right.
But regardless of that, I want to apologize for my actions that night and to say sorry for spending countless hours on trying to change myself, rehabilitating. I've done countless courses, man, countless days and days.
Here's the thing about that, though. Like, the rehabilitation is all that and is good. It's just the fact that someone had to die before you to go down that path. And that's the fucked up part, if you ask me. If we're being real. Why did it have to go that far, bro? Why couldn't it just... Jesus, man. I mean, and I get it. You know what? I understand it, because with some of these robberies, believe it or not, with some of these dumb young boys, bro, they're not doing this for the money. They're robbing you, looking forward to shooting you. Some of them, they looking forward to shooting somebody with a gun. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times it's probably not even their gun. They got it from someone they shouldn't have. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it could be stolen, whatever. Think they got an easy target. Go on, try some shit. Some dumb shit go off. Now they in this situation. Seen it before.
Trying to find a purpose.
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Okay.
Nothing else.
All right, you can sit down, sir.
Just argument, Judge.
Okay. Stay.
If I could first point out that the PDR that you referenced, as well as the PSI, are up for the court to consider. Within the pre-sentence investigation, the court I'd ask to note that the defendant does have adjudications of guilt as to felony offenses, and I wanted to talk a little bit about those. They're listed on page 4 as a burglary of a conveyance. And there's an error here in that it just says August 13th, the Lee County, count 1 burglary of a conveyance, and it says what the outcome was. And I think it's important that the court note that the defendant was on pending juvenile charges at the time of this offense, which is what led to...
So you already had cases pending. You already had charges going on while you was doing this shit. That makes this even a whole lot worse. Because now, they're like, oh, you was already getting in trouble. Then, now, you done did the big one. You done caught a body. Oh, yup. Yeah, they about to roof that ass.
That ultimate resolution, and I believe it happened here in front of your honor. Those cases ended up being direct filed as a result of this case coming to adult court. And in fact, there were 2 cases, not just one. They are both for burglary of a conveyance. And those were 23 CJ 4781 and 23 CJ 4782. Those became 24 CF 427 and 24 CF 428. I'm asking that the court take judicial notice of those court files because they are from the defendant's prior record. And in fact, he pled no contest to both counts of burglary of a conveyance. And I bring those up because I think what we've heard a lot from Mr. Stein's family is that this theme that he was hanging out with the wrong crowd, or he was being influenced by people who didn't have his best interests in mind, and it was causing him to make poor choices. And what we know from the case he was already facing in juvenile.
At the end of the day, listen, all that hanging with the wrong crowd shit is not gonna fly when you in court. Gentlemen, young men, please, Learn to say no. Learn to see some shit and recognize that, you know what, you don't have to be a part of that. Learn that early. It don't matter if you're fucking 14, 15, or 16. You kill somebody, bro, you're going to go to jail. They can charge you as an adult, bro. When it comes to serious crimes like this, they just say, fuck it. I've seen it happen, right? You know what I'm saying? When I was 15, you know what I mean? And some of my football teammates, they caught a body. They killed a man while walking his dog. While he was walking his dog, right? Trying to rob him late at night. All right? 15 at the time. They ended up getting charged as adults. You know what I'm saying? Sentencing came. The shooter, right? The one person shot him. Right? It was two of them that did the robbery. The shooter, you know what I mean? He up. 25 to 80 years. He done. The associate, right? And pull the trigger, 30 years, 35 years. Bad joint for both of them, period. So, similar situations I seen, okay? And you can choose not to be a part of that. I've seen people say no. Yeah, listen, bro, I come from the hood, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was raised by just my mom, you know what I'm saying? I've seen drug abuse in my family, you know what I'm saying? Don't get it fucked up. There's gangsters in my family. Don't get it fucked up, you know what I'm saying? Not everybody's sweet, bro. You know what I mean? Not shit ain't sweet. You dig what I'm saying? But does that mean that we about to be going out here, going on dummy missions? Doing dumb shit to prove we tough? Our ego? Right? When you, honestly, bro, when a lot of shit you let go 2 weeks, a week from now, you don't even remember it or you don't even care about it. But you want to...
Is that there were two individuals car hopping. One of them was the active party doing the car hopping, jiggling on door handles, going into the cars. Both individuals are wearing masks while the other person is standing as the lookout, and it was captured on video. Later in that night, law enforcement chased an individual who appeared to be loitering and prowling. That person fled. In the course of fleeing, they lost their shoe and they lost their cell phone. And ultimately, it was identified that Thomas Stein was both the person who fled from the police as well as the person who was doing the active car hopping or trying to break into those cars. And that's ultimately the charges he faced. And those cases are... Stein was found guilty of the capital offense of felony murder. So I wanted to point that out about the PSI and make sure the court was aware of it. The factors that the court has to consider, and I should clarify, the state is going to ask that the court sentence the defendant to serve life in prison on count 1, first-degree felony murder. And under statute 921.1401, the factors the court has to consider in determining whether that is an appropriate sentence include both the factors relevant to the offense as well as the defendant's youth and the attendant circumstances. And I want to talk about those. They're labeled A through J. I'm not going to talk about each of those, but I think some of what we've heard today is important in your determination, and the state's going to ask that you weigh those and balance them. One of those is the nature and circumstances of the offense committed by the defendant. I'm not going to rehash what we heard at trial and what I just discussed, but this was not an accident. This wasn't the intention of going out to commit a robbery. Was clear from the evidence that was introduced at trial, and ultimately it's on emotional health at the time of the offense. The state would agree that the defendant in this case did suffer a loss and that his father passed away when he was at a very young age. However, what you also heard here in court from his family is that he had an entrepreneurial spirit and that he was goal-oriented and that he worked every day to do things to better himself, to help his...
Well, then why he out robbing people if he doing that shit? Y'all gotta explain that. Fuck he out here why the fuck he out here hitting licks? What the fuck? And failing. Killing innocent killing teenage girls. Why you robbing teenage girls, bro? You niggas pathetic, man. You motherfuckers pathetic.
family. He demonstrated a level of maturity that's commendable. The defendant was hanging out at his own home.
Do they give him the sentence right here? Because that's what I want to see.
The length of this sentence matters for today. And the state's asking that you do impose a life sentence after considering all of those factors. Again, the state would suggest that if the court imposes anything over 15 years, you have to have a written order and findings saying that he's entitled to that review. As to count 1, the first-degree felony murder, there is a 3-year minimum mandatory that's required because of the finding of actual possession of a firearm. So that is the minimum mandatory associated with count 1. And there's a 3-year minimum mandatory associated with each count because the jury found that the defendant did actually possess a firearm during the commission of the offense.
Hold on. No, I want to see the sentencing. Stay with me, y'all, because we ain't giving up. Where the fuck is it at?
All right, for the record, the state's present, defense counsel, defendant are present. I have reviewed the statute that was last mentioned regarding the minimum mandatory sentence. It does appear from my reading of the statute, 775.087, subsection 1, 2A, maybe. Let me go back to it. Is pressure. Statements made today as well. The defendant's family, he has indicated that he is remorseful and that he wants to do better in terms of his life, and that he wants to rehabilitate himself and become a productive member of society. That is possible. Whether or not that happens will be up to Mr. Stein. So it is the considered judgment and sentence of this court that Mr. Stein shall be sentenced to a term of life imprisonment.
Damn!
Florida Department of Corrections. With a 15-year review.
Wow, damn. Okay. Why you lead us in like that, nigga? Why did you do that? Leading us in like, man, he about to give him a break? He like, yeah. We could let him back out. He'd be a good person. He could rehabilitate. And he could change his life around. But that's up to him. Life in prison. What the fuck, nigga? Wait, did they say what after 15 years? Hold on.
In the Florida Department of Corrections. With a 15-year review.
Not parole after 15 years, a 15-year review. What the fuck do that mean, nigga? Fuck you mean review? Review what?
So we will have that opportunity to make that assertion in terms of rehabilitation after 15 years. And like I said, your possibility of being rehabilitated will be up to you. And that is for count 1, which was the first-degree murder with actual possession of a firearm as a principal. That comes with a minimum mandatory sentence of 25 years. Is that right? No, 10 years. There'll be certain statutorily mandated fines, fees, and costs that accompany that. And I'll go into those in a minute. As to count 2, attempted robbery, actual possession of a firearm. And let me just go back. I'm sorry. On count 1, the jury had found you guilty, and I previously adjudicated you guilty on that count. On count 2, attempted robbery with actual possession of a firearm, which is a second-degree felony. Jury having found you guilty and me previously adjudicating you guilty on that count, Your sentence in that count will be 15 years in the Florida Department of Corrections with a 10-year minimum mandatory sentence as part of that 15 years. That sentence will be consecutive to the sentence in count 1.
So not concurrent, motherfucker. That don't mean that. No, that don't mean you ain't doing these together. No, you gotta do this back to back. He's done. He's done. He's done. He's cooked. He's cooked. Make better decisions, y'all.
Count 3, attempted robbery, actual
Still
possession
going.
of a firearm, second-degree felony. The jury having found you guilty of that count and the court previously adjudicating you guilty, you will be sentenced to 15 years in the Florida Department of Corrections with a 10-year minimum mandatory as part of that sentence. That count will be consecutive to count 2. And in count 4, attempted robbery, actual possession of a firearm, a second-degree felony. The jury finding you guilty of that count and the court previously adjudicating you guilty on that count, your sentence will be 15 years in the Florida Department of Corrections with a 10-year minimum mandatory. That sentence will be consecutive to count 3. As for the monetary obligations, there'll be $413.
Consecutive. I want y'all to know what this means in court, okay? When you get concurrent sentences, that means like they blend the time in together. So it's not like you got to do the time on top of each other, right? All right. They would just run it in together. All right. And then you would just, whatever they wouldn't like add the years in. You feel what I'm saying? Communicate it one day. Not communicate it. That's the wrong word. That's the wrong word I'm using. They would just kind of bring it up together and just average it out in one sense. They wouldn't like add the years together. And I don't know if I'm even using the right word saying averaging it out. Okay. But what I'm saying is when you get consecutive, bro, that means you gotta do that shit back to back. That means when you get a life sentence plus 15 years, that means you gotta do the life sentence, then you gotta do the 15 years. So you gotta go in prison and stay in prison till you die, and when you die and come back, if you die and come back, you have to do it 15 years.
Dollars in court costs. I believe it was previously stipulated to cost of prosecution was $2,565.05. As for, is there any application fees? I will order restitution on each count, reserve in any amount. There'll be no contact with the victims' families or the victims. Were there any other terms or conditions?
Nothing from the state.
All right. I'll have the state prepare an order based on my findings as to Florida statute.
Let me see his face.
Purposes at this time. That's
Look at
sufficient
that.
for the record, and you can just put that in your proposed.
That's the face of man. I fucked up, and I know it's over. Listen, y'all take somebody's life. Y'all can't put that shit back. Mistakes in this world, certain mistakes in this world you can't fix. All right. Certain things you can't come back from. Fucking up your credit, you can come back from that. Getting in debt, come back. Losing your house, you can come back. Being homeless, you can come back from that. Shit. God damn it. A lot of things you can come back from. Killing somebody? Can't run from that. Can't come back from that. I mean, because if you ain't do that shit the right way, nigga, it's only a matter. You gotta keep your shit. You gotta keep your shit covered up and your mouth closed, so the law don't catch up with you. Or you can't be around those people that they love, because if they still know about you and everything, what's stopping them from coming to you? Make better decisions, y'all. Stay up, stay cool, stay down, stay out the way. Score grubs and we out this motherfucker, man, for real.